JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, police say a man killed on Brunswick Avenue was stealing livestock. The St. Catherine police say a man who was killed on Brunswick Avenue in Spanish Town on Tuesday morning was in the process of committing pre-dawn larceny when he was shot by a licensed firearm holder. The deceased has been identified as 29-year-old Johnny Bailey, unemployed, of Taos Meadows, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. The police said the complainant was at home asleep when he was awoken by a continuous barking of dogs. He went outside and reportedly saw two men trying to remove sheep from a pen. He called out to the men, and one of them allegedly pointed a gun at him. He reportedly took evasive action and fired 4 rounds from his licensed firearm. Both men ran, and a search of the premises later revealed one of the men suffering from gunshot wounds. The police were summoned. Ochorea's security scare prankster pleads guilty. The prankster who caused the security scare in Ochorea's sentenced earlier this month yesterday pleaded guilty to malicious communication and creating public mischief when he appeared before the St. Catherine Parish Court. However, Siobhan Flowers, who is from Old Harbour, St. Catherine, pleaded not guilty to extortion. His attorney told Senior Parish Court Judge Desiree Lane that the incident was only a prank and that her client had no intention to cause any problems. He was remanded until July 21, when the matter will again be mentioned. Flowers was arrested on charge over the June 3 incident. 4 injured in Portland crash. 4 people were injured in a 3-vehicle crash in Orange Bay, Portland on Tuesday. 2 of them are said to be in critical condition in hospital. The crash happened about 7 p.m. The police report that a grey Toyota Probox motor car and a white Toyota Probox motor car were traveling westerly towards Buff Bay when the grey vehicle attempted to overtake the white car and hit it in the side. It is further reported that the grey Probox then slammed into a sedan motor car that was traveling in the opposite direction. Passengers in all 3 vehicles sustained injuries and were assisted by residents and firefighters. They were taken to the Onoto Bay Hospital. The police have appealed to motorists to travel with caution. Bus driver gets 26 months for causing 5 road deaths. Dwayne Fowler, the driver who caused the deaths of 5 people in an accident along the PJ Patterson Highway in St. Catherine in 2021, was sentenced to 2 years and 2 months imprisonment in the St. Catherine Circuit Court on Tuesday. Attorney Kadia Hyman made an impassioned plea for leniency, stating that her client was sincerely apologetic about his actions. However, Justice Bertram Morrison said it would be unconscionable not to impose a custodial sentence. I could not sleep if I don't give you a custodial sentence, as it is clear that you were speeding when the accident occurred and 5 lives were taken, Morrison said. The court heard that about 11:07 a.m. on April 12, 2021, Fowler was driving a minibus from Manchester to Kingston with passengers aboard. Upon reaching a section of the PJ Patterson Highway, he slammed into the back of a truck after his left tire blew out. The impact sent his vehicle into the concrete median, where it overturned. 4 of the passengers died on the spot. They were identified as 44-year-old Dwight Gohegan, 37-year-old Cornelia Montague, 32-year-old Christopher Barrett, and 43-year-old Lydia Petrino. 18 injured persons, including Fowler, were taken to hospital, where 20-year-old Janila Maitland succumbed to her injuries. Wife of slain cop released from hospital, charges loom. The 33-year-old woman accused of killing her husband, Constable Damon Blair, last month at the couple's home in Somerset, is to be interviewed by detectives following her discharge from hospital on Monday, with criminal charges looming against her. A senior police source said that the Area 3 Police Major Investigations Division, MID, is leading the probe. She was discharged on Monday afternoon. She's at a police facility now. The MID is leading the investigation, so they're going to do their interviews with her and move forward with the investigation, the source said on Tuesday. An autopsy that was done on Monday confirmed that the policeman was shot and received wounds resulting from blunt force trauma to the head and neck. Bullet fragments were removed from the body as well, said the source. The couple lived on Desmond Mackenzie Close, formerly Guava Walk Road in Somerset, a deep rural community in northwest Manchester. A police report said about 6:25 p.m. on May 29, Blair was reportedly shot inside the family home, allegedly by his wife. According to the police, Blair ran from the house but collapsed at his gate, where further wounds were reportedly inflicted with a hammer. Blair was found on a dirt road at his gateway, clad in only his underpants. Police said his wife was found inside the house with a laceration to her wrist. It is reported that she had barricaded herself inside a section of the house. Constable Blair was pronounced at the hospital while his wife was admitted in stable condition before being released into police custody. Police confirmed that investigators found the licensed pistol belonging to Blair and evidence of items used during the dispute, including 2 hammers and a machete, at the couple's house. Relatives, neighbors, and colleagues of Blair said the couple had a stormy relationship, which colored intense discussions about the chilling event in recent weeks. Antonia Sutherland, Blair's sister, in an interview on May 30, claimed that the couple was embroiled in disputes for several years during their 13-year relationship, including 8 years of marriage. During a candlelight vigil organized by Blair's colleagues last Wednesday at the Mandeville police station, where he was assigned to the guardroom patrol department, senior officers said the incident was heart-wrenching. "We all joined this noble organization, the JCF. I want to say we're challenging, but we all hope that at the end of our time in the organization, we live in one piece. Constable Blair's life came to an end prematurely," said head of Area 3, Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police, Glenn Ford Miller. "Sometimes we say maybe some of us will die in the line of duty. When we realize that death comes another way, it is really heart-wrenching, especially the circumstances in which he died," added Miller. Head of the Manchester Police, Superintendent Shane McCullough, shared similar sentiments. "This is not one of the easiest things that a commander has to do. I would have seen a lot in my time, but I must say that this one hits home really hard, and I can only imagine how those who would have served with him for a longer period of time are feeling," said McCullough. The Manchester Community Safety and Security Branch has organized a domestic violence forum for 6 p.m. on Wednesday, June 28, at the Mandeville Baptist Church. Taxi operators say slain colleague was a decent youth. Several taxi operators have reacted with surprise at the shooting death of one of their colleagues outside Ascot Primary School in Portmore, St. Catherine. The police have launched an investigation into the incident, which occurred shortly before 2 p.m. on Tuesday. It is reported that the deceased, who has only been identified as Russian, was traveling with a vehicle full of students when the attack occurred. According to eyewitnesses, the students scattered as Russian was chased by armed men and shot several times under a tree. There were no reports of injuries to any of the students. Several taxi operators who gathered near the scene of the shooting lamented the death of their colleague, who they said was not a troublesome individual. "Now vote to nobody, but it's a youth to keep to himself and not play a certain game. I could have any number play, but all me says a decent youth," one taxi operator said. Cancer patient who impersonated dead cop begs for leniency. When a man that was hauled before a senior parish judge on Tuesday for impersonating a dead police officer learned that he would be remanded, he started pleading with the judge, stating that he has heart failure and prostate cancer. The Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court was told that on May 31, lawmen patrolling the Norman Mann International Airport in Kingston saw Oral Stewart parked in a restricted area. When the cops approached him, Stewart reportedly said he was a police officer and presented an identification card that was later found to belong to a deceased detective sergeant. The investigating officer told the presiding judge, Lauren Cole Montague, that the apprehending officer was suspicious of Stewart and asked him where he was stationed, to which he said the Mona Reserve. When checks were made, it was found that the ID number on the badge belonged to the deceased cop of the Halfway Tree branch in St. Andrew. A driver's license in Stewart's possession also belonged to the deceased cop. The ID and driver's license reportedly had Stewart's picture. After he was arrested, Stewart reportedly said of the identification cards in his possession, "I never really used it, you know." Stewart ultimately pleaded guilty to possession of forged documents, conspiracy to defraud, and the 2 counts of breaching the Cybercrime Act. He was also slapped with the charges of no parking under the Airport Authority Act, no driver's license, and no insurance coverage. These matters will be handled in the traffic court. "How long have you been walking around with this?" the judge asked Stewart. "Not even 2 months," he answered. He told the judge that he did not know the dead man, and he got his driver's license from the man's cousin, who asked him to take it to the tax office for him, but he held on to it. Visibly upset, Cole Montague said, "I think this is a very serious offense, to be walking around with a police ID, a police officer's identification, is a powerful document to be walking around with. It gives you clear passage into many places. You can access crime scenes. You can go into people's places with very little questions asked. It's a very serious offense because of the potential damage that could be done, and I don't know what has already been done. The mago say I'm a cruel judge to lock you up with prostate cancer and heart failure. Please, he begged. You need a period of remand, Cole Montague said. Hearing this, the man started to hyperventilate as he placed his hand over his heart. Breathe in and out before I send you where you're going, the judge said with a look of concern on her face. Stewart was remanded until next week Wednesday, when his sentence will be handed down. You see, anytime matters come before the court, judges must be very aware that whatever decision is made and message is sent, I intend to send a message to anybody who think they can assume another person's identification, Cole Montague said. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.